Well, I guess if I go back on the ranch when we started, we've got live water running through the ranch most of the year on part of it, and the Badlands part of it. Then the rest of it has been dams and dugouts and stuff like that, and not a lot of those. As we've learned to live in the environment that we're living in, we've been able to change some of that up, but a lot of our water has become contaminated, and it has to do with the runoffs that are there and things like that. So the total solids or the sulfates have increased, and now with grazing management and stuff, we're starting to see those go the other way. But we found that a lot of our health problems in the cattle dealt with too much sulfates or too much total solids. And I had the experience of renting a piece of land and turning the cattle in on that, and a beautiful dugout, and riding over the next morning to check the cattle, and one cow was totally blind, and the cows were all ganted up and thin because the water was that bad. So having to move them back off of that, and then going back and putting in pipelines and stuff like that to take care of some of those situations. But that was an extreme, but we've seen that in different places that we've had to work with. So then water lines became real important, and also water tanks and things like that where calves could drink and cows. But last year being really a dry year, the water was bad because of that, because of the evaporation. This year we're testing that water out of them same creeks and dams, and it's a lot better. So we're hoping by the grass management and all of that we're starting to make some improvements there. But as you look at water and water tanks, we've gradually worked into portable water, because portable water you can place at different places, and we're using poly pipe to do that, and we just pull it with a four-wheeler. You know, you can pull, well, we've been buying it in 600-foot rolls, and you can pull that 3 or 4 of those behind a four-wheeler, and we'll zip around wherever. We'll pull 1, 2, or 3 miles and not think anything of it to hook up another spot. But we also bought tankers from a junkyard. They're pups that go behind a oil tank, and they can't resell them. They got to junk them out. And it's worked very well for us, because then we can do more strategic grazing also. But I think we'll be able to gradually increase our quality of water as we go through, and I think that's on some of our dams and creeks and stuff like that. That's a goal, and that's what we're working at. But we don't also control the land that's next to us. But water is very, very important, because we've seen where the health of the cattle really drop, and it's hard to bring them back after if they get on poor water. So that's probably the first thing you do, is see early embryonic death. Then the next thing you'll see is calves that are not, the hair coat goes dull, the hair coat on the cows go dull, and then your performance just drops. And so water is something that you really need to watch. And I never realized it till I got on that situation and found that cow that was already blind from it. And we were able to bring her back out of it, but the performance was really hurt on those cattle for a while. Those are the hard knocks of life. I think you can talk to a lot of different people, but when you start putting a lot of animals together, that's when water tanks, you either got to have quite a few of them, or you got to have the volume of water there. So if you talk to different ones, or even people that are doing that kind of work, the construction people, you can get a lot of good ideas. But water is, if you start into a grazing program that you're going to increase numbers of cows, that's the first thing you look at is water. If you don't put that together, you'll be frustrated like I was when I started. I just didn't realize how important volume is.